Welcome to Yoga with Cynthia. I'm Cynthia Bialik, and both the host and the producer for this program. Irene is with me today and has frequently been on the program. And we're here to lead you through yoga poses that will improve your posture today. We've had all sorts of programs, and today is very special. It's going to be a slower paced yoga program. For those of you that have never participated in yoga, I think you could certainly do this class unless you feel that you have an injury or there's some other reason that you feel you shouldn't participate without checking with your healthcare professional. But we're going to start on the floor. It is all about posture, learning how to engage your core to produce better posture, both seated and standing. We're going to start in a seated position today, then we're going to move to standing, then we're going to be back down on the mat later on. So go ahead and find a comfortable place to be. You're certainly welcome to be on your carpet if that's more convenient, because there's no need for a non-skid surface while we're seated right now. When we stand, you might want to get a yoga mat if you need to, or just do the best you can on the carpet. All right, so we're going to start on our sitting bones, and I want you to move back and forth like this. Now, if your back is tight and you find yourself being pulled back like that, okay, I want you to bend one leg so that helps you sit up a little bit better, right? So I want you to rock back and forth, and then I want you to rock front and back just to release the back, right? So remember, you're always going to come back to the bent knee if you can't maneuver your spine properly. I want you to take your arms up, lift your chest, and then look up into your hands. So what we're going to do is try to find our good seated posture where we have nice extension in the back. Our head is back in alignment with the rest of the spine. And we call this staff pose in yoga, Dandasana. We're going to breathe deeply in and out through the nose and keep our focus straight out from the nose. Allow the shoulders to fall gently away from your ears, and I want you to feel as though someone had you around your skull and lifting you gently, not pulling you all the way up, but just gently lifting your skull so that your neck feels a little free to move. And then we're going to move that head back and forth, pulling it forward, pulling it back. See if you have movement in the neck. Forward and back. And now find neutral. Come to that comfortable place. Now, from neutral spine, which is your perfect seated posture, we're going to come out of neutral spine into a rounded spine. So we're going to round the shoulders in, drop the head down, and slide your arms forward so your head comes to your knees. So we call this rounding out the back. Now, we can hinge from the hips, but that's a totally different thing. So right now we're rounding out the back, and this is great to stretch the erector spinae muscles. So the muscles that align the spine get a really deep stretch. The closer you can bring your head to the knees, the more stretch you're going to feel in the back. Then we're going to come back up again and go to the opposite extension. So we're lifting the chest, and now we're stretching the core, the abs. So we're going to shorten the back muscles, walk the hands behind your hips, then lift your chest up. Lift the rib cage as high as you can. And if you want greater extension, you can come into a pose that we call fish pose in yoga, Matsyasana. We're going to bring the elbows down. We're going to keep lifting the chest. If you want to support the back and just hold here, you can. Otherwise, let the head come all the way down, lifting your chest in the air. Matsyasana. You can bring the arms back over your shoulders and continue to stretch and lift the chest here, or bring the arms up and bring the legs up. Now we're going to come back into neutral, come back to that seated posture, Dandasana. Now we're going to take the spine into a laterally flexed position. So we're going to take that right arm out and come down towards your right elbow. Now, if you don't feel comfortable, or if your left hip comes up, bringing the elbow down, just bend the elbow Don't come all the way down. Only do what you feel comfortable with. You want to get a deep stretch for the lats on the left side. Reach up with your left arm and start to pull it over to the right. And then come back to center. Do the same thing on the other side. Reach out to the left. You can just bend your elbow or come all the way down into the mat. Bring your right arm over your shoulder. Stay there. Deep breaths. Hold on. 2 more slow breaths. Then on the last exhale, return to Tadasana, our neutral pose. Now, see if it's a little bit more comfortable now that you understand where it is. Come forward on the pubic bone, drop down on the tailbone. Moving back and forth, and then we're going to try to find neutral spine again. Let's bring those hands on the pelvis and move the rib cage around your hips. There. Go the other way. Try to anchor into your sitting bones and just move the rib cage around and come back to neutral. Put your hands down on the ground. Bring your head straight out and find neutral spine. So when you find neutral spine, you should feel no tension in your neck. If your head is forward, you're going to feel the weight of your head pulling your neck straight rather than keeping the curve in the neck. You're going to also feel that your back starts to overstretch and you take the curve out of your low back. So you want to maintain the lordotic curve in your neck and in your low back and maintain a slight kyphotic curve in your thoracic spine. So we're going to stay here and breathe in and out through the nose. And now we're going to find that same good posture from a kneeling position before we stand up. So let's cross the ankles and come to a kneeling position here. And first we're going to drop the head. Now initially it might feel comfortable to take your head down to the floor because your head is the heaviest thing you have in your body, your skull. That's a good thing because your brain's in there, so it's good to know that we have a big brain and it's weighing our head down. But when you go to lift the head, it requires that you strengthen the neck. So I want you to pull the head straight forward, and now you have that neutral spine once again. The heels of your hands are under your armpits. Your abs are drawing up. Your navel is drawing up to your spine. And you're pulling through the crown of your head. The top of your feet are resting on the floor. Now we're going to come out of neutral. Drop the head again, but this time we're going to round the back. Drive the navel into the spine and take your tailbone. Thighs forward towards the front of your mat. And then take your tailbone in the air, getting a big extension in the back. Look forward. Lifting your chin up. So we have dog tilt and then cat tilt. Round the back again. Drive the thighs towards the front of your mat as you drop the tailbone and press the pubic bone towards the front of your mat. Once again, release. Take the tailbone in the air and look forward. Deep breath. Exhale, round the back. Deep breath. And look up. Now we're going to find neutral spine. Just look between your hands. Spread your fingers wide. Pull through the crown of your head. Pull back through the sitting bones and just stay there. Do you feel more in control if you're in neutral? Well, we're going to see how that goes. We're going to transfer our body weight onto our left knee. We're going to extend the right leg straight back. Then we're going to take the left arm out. Find neutral. Come out of neutral and lift your chest. Look up. And hold. So now we're strengthening the glutes. We're strengthening the shoulders and strengthening the rector spinae muscles. We're going to draw the right knee into our chest, and we're going to try to bring the right knee and right elbow together. Now we're using the strength of our abs, our rectus abdominis, our psoas muscles, our chest as we pull inward. And extend that right leg back out, lifting that left hand a little higher, reaching up towards the ceiling with your right heel and your left hand. Deep breath. On the exhale, drive that elbow down and down. Now find neutral spine. 2 more deep breaths. Okay, start to push back with your heel. Flex your foot. Be strong. Take your right arm straight out. Hold neutral spine there. Remember those curves in the back of your neck, in your low back, and in your thoracic spine. We're going to take that curve and take it out because we're going to lift that heel, lift the right arm up in extension, engaging the glutes, engaging the neck, engaging your back. On the exhale, we're going to drive the right elbow to your left knee, contract abs. Come back forward into neutral. Then come up and lift, extend the spine. Breathe. And exhale, start to bring the elbow and knee together. Contract and hold, and then we'll release. Hands down. Now let's take a moment to release our wrists. Turn your hands so they're facing up. Pull your hips back to your heels and let your head fall between your elbows. Just relax. Relax your low back. Let your hips sink into your heels. And just hold there. So here we're in flexion. We're rounding the back and releasing the lumbar spine. Let that lumbar spine really stretch out. So we're removing the curve in that back. Now turn your hands so they're facing down. And we're going to lift the hips just enough to curl your toes under. We're back in neutral spine. We're going to curl those toes under. Now we're going to return to a folded position in what we call downward facing dog. So first, we're going to lift the knees and we're going to pull back into the heels. Now, as we continue to pull back, our upper body goes into extension. We're allowing the heels to come down. We allow the head to come down, but the shoulders are pulling back. Our upper back is an extension. Deep breaths as you hold there. 2 more deep breaths. Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. Now on the last exhale, we're going to extend that left leg up in the air into 3-legged dog here. Breathe deep. Now on the exhale, we're going to slide that left foot between your hands. So bring it forward and then pull back into your right foot. Lower the head into your left knee. Stay there and breathe. Now let's find that neutral posture again. Bring those hands forward. We're going to come on to the left foot, push back into your right heel, and lift your head up. So you're basically on your fingertips, leading with the crown of your head, trying to find neutral spine. Now we're going to drop into the right hand and bring that left hand to your left hip and look to the left side of the room. If you can, reach up to the ceiling and open that chest as much as you can, lifting from the base of the rib cage, pushing back into that right heel as you look up into your left hand. Now, bend your left knee, step back, and come up into a standing twist. Look back over your left shoulder, then drop the arms down, bend your left knee, bring the arms up. And as we move into Virabhadrasana 1, we're back into extension once again. Take the shoulders back, lift the chest, and this should look familiar. When we were seated and we lifted our chest, we were in extension with our breath. We're going to open to Virabhadrasana 2, facing the right side of the room. Then look back over the right shoulder. Then look forward over your left shoulder. And airplane the arms around. Let's bring the head forward. Find neutral spine as we come up into Virabhadrasana 3. And then traction the spine. Bring those hands together and stretch those curves out of your back as we reach forward and push back into the right heel. Stay there. Stay lifted. Left kneecap is pulling upward. Let's bend that left knee, step back, and return to Virabhadrasana 1. If you can, keep the arms together now. Drop your shoulders down. Lift your chest up a little higher. Lift the rib cage to the ceiling. Stretching the belly. Now we're going to bring the elbows down. Interlace your fingers. Bend your left knee. Coming into Wounded Warrior. Drop the left shoulder down on your left knee. Drop your gaze to your right foot so it releases your neck. Bring your arms up and over the shoulders so you get a greater stretch across the front of your chest. Stay there and breathe. Now, as we come out of this pose, we're going to do one more shoulder stretch, and it's actually the arms of cow face pose. So we're going to come on up, slide your left arm behind your right shoulder, swing your right arm up, and Irene's going to do it from behind so you can see our arm position. Lift the rib cage into extension. Look up if you can. Deepen your breaths as you hold. Deepen your breaths. All right, let's release those arms. Let's fold back down. Step back with your left foot. And now we're going to find ourselves in plank. Drawing the abs tight to the spine, pulling through the crown of your head. Try to find neutral spine here. 2 more slow breaths. Let's drop to the knees. Curl those toes under. Start to pull back into downward facing dog, going into extension once again. Stretch all the way back. Try to lift your toes. Anchor into those heels. Pulling the head between the elbows as we drop our gaze down to our toes. Push into the left heel and raise the right leg in the air. 3-legged dog here. On the exhale, we're going to shoot that right foot between the hands and pull back into your right hip. Stay there and breathe. Now, find neutral spine again from our fold. We're going to come up onto the right foot. Bring those hands forward. Lift your left heel in the air. Flex your foot. Push straight back. Bring your right hand to your hip, then start to turn your gaze to the right. Lift the chest and look up into your right hand as you push back into your left heel as much as you can. Stay strong. Stretch your toes apart, lifting your right kneecap up. We're going to step back with your left foot. Come to that standing twist. Look back over the right shoulder. Drop the arms down. Lift the rib cage up. Fall back over your hips in Virabhadrasana 1. Keep your arms apart to get as much extension and stretch on the chest as you can. Then pull back up into Virabhadrasana 2. Look over your left shoulder now. And as we move into 3, airplane the arms around. Bring those hands into prayer as you start to lift up. Then as you reach and interlace your fingers, we're tractioning the spine. So we start neutral, and then we traction and axial extend the spine, getting more length and taking the curves out of the back as we continue to pull forward, pushing back through that left heel. Stay strong there. Then bend your right knee, step back into your left foot. Keep the hands together this time. Pull the shoulders down, lift the rib cage. Put some sun on your face, lifting the chest in the air. Now drop the elbows down, interlace your fingers behind your back, and bend your right knee. Bring your right shoulder down on that knee. Look at your left foot, releasing tension in your neck. Bring your arms up and over the shoulders in Wounded Warrior. Bending that right knee as much as you can, bringing the shoulder into your right leg. Stay there and breathe. Then come back up. Take the arms in the air. Lift your chest. And when you feel you're able, take your right arm down. Slide your left arm behind you. Lift your chest. Once again, cow-faced arms. Breathe. Continue those breaths as you lift your chest. Now this time, as you release those arms, we're going to turn to the left. We're going to slide our arms down and first pull the head forward to get as much length through the spine as you can get. Let's drop that head down. Reach for the ankles. Let your head continue coming down. Stretch the feet apart. If you can, put your hands under your hips, bend your elbows, and plant your head on the ground. Keep taking your tailbone up as you come down under your hips. Prasarita Padottanasana. Once again, a way to traction the spine. Now we're going to come back to center. Turn all toes to the front end of your mat. Slide your right foot back, and once again, hover in plank. Stay there and breathe. 2 more deep breaths as you hover. Now we're going to bend the knees and step forward, left and right, and come to Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Now bend your knees and roll up into Tadasana. So let's find neutral spine in Tadasana. Mountain pose. You're going to make sure the big toes are aligned, so look down at your feet. Separate your heels. And now roll forward on the balls of your feet, back on the heels. Now, just drop into those heels, and I want you to really pay attention to the bottom of your feet. The arches of your feet, those muscles in your feet, have the ability to pull you away from the floor. So I want you to anchor on the balls and the heels of your feet. Lift your kneecaps up, and I want you to feel this motion of pulling up from your feet, through the arches of your feet, up to the hips, lifting the kneecaps up and pulling back. So make it come up from the toes and around your hips. And now let the shoulders fall back so the shoulders are in line with your hip bones. Your head eases back. And we're in neutral spine in Tadasana. Ta-da. All right, so I'm going to just take this opportunity to thank you for watching Yoga with Cynthia, and I hope you learned a thing or two. We went slowly. Hopefully you were able to follow along. Well, one of the most important parts of our yoga class is relaxation, savasana. So join us. We're going to make our way down into the mat, so I want you to bend your knees, round the spine, place your hands down, and just take your right foot behind your left and have a seat. Then bring your feet out in front. You're going to come down your elbows, and you're going to ease down into the mat. And I want you to find neutral spine in corpse before we end up in corpse pose. So take your legs out, and I want you to put your fingers under your back. See if you can touch your fingers. Do they touch under there? That means you still have the low back curve. That's good. Now bring your fingers under your neck. So your neck's not touching the floor. That's good. Now allow your hips to open. Take your feet out a little bit. Shake your legs. And now we're going to bring those hands to the hips with your palms facing upward. So we're going to find ourselves a neutral spine. When we breathe deeply, we come out of neutral spine momentarily to greater extension. So try it now. Keep your mouth closed and breathe deeply in through the nose. And exhale back out. Find neutral. Now close your eyes and enjoy corpse pose and just get lost in your breath. Until next time, namaste.